What is up, critics? So today, December 9th, 2020, Rockstar has released yet another trailer on their YouTube channel for the new Cayo Perico Heist DLC update, as well as the trailer thumbnail and a new Rockstar Newswire post that provides even more details as well. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down that new trailer, as well as seeing what other details they provided for us in the Newswire and the thumbnail of that trailer as well. So first I'll play the trailer, and then we'll get started.
Is this the right place for the party? Can we post? Is there a hashtag?
We're all here because of one man.
You're not on the mainland now, huh? Anything goes!
I've seen him going in like a trout, chasing some supermodel down the beach on a panther, mate.
I didn't understand a word of that.
Lots of guards, high-tech security. I need someone to rob it. You're obviously going to need a submarine.
Let's try and come out of this with all of our ears and a bit of suntan.
Alright, so pretty crazy trailer for sure, and a lot of new things are shown and confirmed. So let's start at the beginning. The first thing we see here is two AIs walking towards a hangar in the main Los Angeles International Airport. This is a white and red color scheme version of the normal Luxor we already have in game. From what I can tell here, this just seems to be a cutscene for the trailer itself, or maybe that's the way you can possibly access the island in free mode, maybe, by possibly going to the hangar, and then you get a cutscene most likely with a plane taking off and then landing at the airport on the island. But anyways, then the camera transitions facing out of the hangar. We can clearly see the main LSIA airport in the background, and of course it reveals the exact location of this hangar, which is the Pegasus hangar on the west side of the airport. In the next scene, we see a very nice overview of the majority of the island, with the dockyard area here that we saw in the first main trailer. Overall, this island looks pretty small in this scene, but we can also see that the left side of this island is cut off here in this scene, so it's definitely larger than what we see here. Next up, we see some partying in the sunshade area we saw from the main trailer, with what appears to be new clothing on some of the characters. In the next scene, we see the same Luxor from the beginning of the trailer, actually on the island itself, which pretty much confirms that there will be an airport or some type of landing strip for planes on this island, which is awesome. Moving along, we finally get to see the face of what seems to be the drug lord of the island, El Rubio. In the next scene, this seems to be the Music Locker nightclub that Rockstar confirmed a few days ago that is located under the casino, and we see a few different angles of that here as well. Moving along, English Dave from the main nightclub update seems to be making a reappearance for this new update. We also get to see a better look of one of the confirmed DJs, which is DJ Moody Man. And one thing I want to mention here from looking at the background is that this club seems to be extremely similar in layout and size to the existing nightclubs we buy in game, which honestly is a bit disappointing. I was really hoping they would do something completely different, larger, not really sure, but anyways, in the next scene we get a better look at the spotter tower for the island. And moving on, we see a player in a heist outfit stealing information from a laptop in some type of underground building. Moving back to the nightclub, we see an AI telling a player that he needs someone to rob the island. Now in the next scene, we see players doing just that with what seems to be a brand new helicopter, which we will get a closer look at later in the trailer. You can also see a player rappelling down from the helicopter. Next up, we see a player throwing a grappling hook to climb over a wall, which is awesome. I really hope we can use this feature in free mode as well to climb over larger walls, and not just for the heist or a random cutscene for the heist. Next up, we see a player using a glass cutting tool to steal this statue. Now in the background, we can also see another player defending him, and if we look beyond that, we can actually see an elevator, which might mean that they could be underground or on a different floor. In the next scene, we see the AI telling the player that he's going to need a submarine to rob the island. So we saw this in the other trailer as well, but the main thing to note here is the air missile that can be shot at enemies above water as well. So in addition to the torpedoes we saw in the other trailer, you're actually going to be able to shoot enemy aircrafts above as well, which is amazing. That's awesome. Moving on to the next scene, we see another DJ that was confirmed in the newswire as well. Then moving on, we go back to the submarine with what appears to be the heist planning screen for the Cayo Perico Heist. On the right side, we finally get to see some type of payouts for the heist. So the first amount we see is 1.1 million for what says Madrazo files. So it seems that Martin Madrazo, the famous Martin Madrazo, might also be making a return for this update as well, which is awesome. After that, we see a second amount of 2.8 million for secondary targets. You can see those targets appear on different places around the island map. So I assume these heists have one specific main objective, and then your secondary objective, which is stealing extra items to make even more money in random places around the islands, which is pretty insane to think about. Now on the left side of this panel, we can see a list of items. Unfortunately, it's too blurry to see what these items are, but they seem to be a list of items you can steal. In the next scene, we can see players escaping the island on a brand new boat being chased by the new weaponized dinghies. This new boat has a crazy looking livery on it and a mounted gun up front. This boat seems to be based on a river patrol boat from the Vietnam era. Very cool for sure. We also get to see that this also has a gun mounted at the rear as well, which is even better. Moving on, we see a player stealing gold from a small shack on the island, which seems to be one of the random spots we can steal secondary items from. Moving on, we see English Dave in front of that white Luxor talking to our character. I'm not sure if this implicates that he might visit the island as well. I guess we'll see. In the next scene, we see players on a brand new helicopter headed straight for the island. This helicopter seems to be based on the UH-60 Blackhawk, which is awesome. So this helicopter seems to be one of the many approaches you can take to stealing from the island, in addition to the submarine and the boats, which is interesting. And lastly, the trailer ends with the DJs in the nightclub, and then the release date of the update once again shown as December 15th, which is a Tuesday. So I'm sure some of you will probably ask me, what time will this update come out exactly on Tuesday? So these updates usually release at around 5 a.m. Eastern time, so that's when I'd most likely say it will release. Now, moving on to the thumbnail of this trailer, we get to see a lot here. So let's start at the top left where we see the Sparrow helicopter. So we currently have the Sea Sparrow helicopter in game, which can land on water, but this one seems to be based on a standard version, which we currently don't have in game. Moving on to the top right, we see a brand new jet, which looks to be based on the Rockwell B-1 Lancer bomber jet, which is absolutely nuts. I've been wanting them to add a new weaponized jet in game since we got the Strike Force in the past, and it's been a few years, so I'm glad we're finally getting a new one. Moving along to the bottom left, we finally get a better look at the new Canis vehicle, which is based on the Willys Jeep. And at the center, we see some new modern ATVs. We haven't really had any new ones added in a very long time, so it's nice to see something new. And on the right side of that, we see a brand new car that seems to be primarily based on the 1968 Lamborghini Espada, with the front end of the 1976 Aston Martin Lagonda. So it seems to be a mix of those two. This is definitely a very unique and cool addition for sure to the Sports Classics class, I assume. And on the right side, we see the purchasable submarine with a weaponized dinghy headed towards the island. And lastly, moving on to the newswire, Rockstar sort of gives us some insight as to what Madrazo has to do with this update, and they state that Ed Rubio is actually the drug supplier for the Madrazo family, so that makes a lot of sense. Now, they go on to talk about how the island is also a partying destination where everyone can access until the sun comes up. So they state everyone can access it until the sun comes up, that specific thing there. So this seems to point out that that's available to access normally when you're not doing heists. So the only question is, are they only talking about the AIs, or are they talking about us players as well? Still up in the air. We're not 100% sure on that yet. Now in the next paragraph, they say that the items we can steal are again art, gold, and drug money. all 3 rather than choosing one at a time like in the casino heist. They say that these items are scattered across the island as we saw earlier in the trailer on the planning screen. They also make the statement here, which is for those of you who can find a way in. So does this mean that we can't normally access the islands when not doing heists? Sort of 2 contradicting statements here, which are a little confusing, but I'm sure we're really close to the update either way. We're going to know 100% once the update comes out. And lastly, again, they say that it's the biggest GTA Online update ever, which they've said many times, with again the release date of December 15th. And then they go on to say again, stay tuned for more details. So I'm pretty sure this is the last of the trailer / info we're going to get till the update comes out. But they said more details. I guess we'll see. We're really close already, but I guess more information would be cool. Might as well. I think this is the first time we've ever gotten this amount of trailers, teasers, and news wires for one update. But definitely seeming like this will be in fact the largest update for the game as they stated. So it's looking like you're going to need to buy that submarine to host the new heist, which I imagine will not be cheap at all. I'm guessing it's going to be around $10 million or so with upgrades just for that one item alone. So for those of you who haven't started saving up money, now's the time to grind as much money as you can. You have this entire weekend to grind as much money as possible. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.